Okay, so right, so what we are going to have now is Dakshin's the final climax as he announced earlier. But right now we are supposed to see the marks of yesterday's performance. There were three teams: Team Kiran, Team Krishnan, and Team Hariharan. So Team Kiran made the first entry, and as I told yesterday, Team Kiran had been doing a wonderful job in terms of giving Kavin, Raj and Nitin a very good spark of speaking. Yeah, so Team Kiran did a good job, but the point is there was a little bit of incompletion. So they were not able to complete the task on a proper basis, and that is the only flaw in Team Kiran's performance. Otherwise, they took stock of two things, the two challenges, and as much as they could, they balanced the two challenges. So apart from that, there was another scope of improvement in Team Kiran's performance, and that was, as much as they could, Team Kiran could have explained about the solution a little bit faster, but in the light of spending so much time in the skit performance, they were not able to focus on the solution. So having considered all that, the other team members gave a very good cooperation. So Ritan Nitish did well, Prabhupada did well, Kavin Raj did especially well. So with the bonus for Kavin Raj's performance, I would say Team Kiran has scored 87 out of 100.
Good job, Team Kiran.
Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you, sir.
You're welcome. So now let's move on to the next team that made the performance. That is Team Krishnan. So Team Krishnan were able to give proper explanation about the challenges. So really people like Vedavashan, Krishnan, Kirtana and Balaji were so fast in explaining, and they had a very good spark. The biggest highlight of their team was the way they have explained and the way they have brought things into notice. The biggest highlight again, another highlight is the way they had been trying to involve the objects. But of course, I have cancelled the plan of involving the objects because of want of time. But nevertheless, they took stock of the objects and they explained it really well. The previous days, object simulation model has really given them the help, and they were very thorough on that. So all the four members were very, very quick. That has even motivated me to give more tasks like this, because people are really doing good in this fashion. But the only disappointment is the online people are not really able to give their best. So we will work out some solution for that. In any case, no trainer can do anything about it, because this is how the nature has to be. So these days people are refraining from conducting even online classes for the absence of liveliness. But I am trying to push my own self too much to the harder extent with this nature of conducting the class. Good that you people are really cooperating. On that note, because the direct attendees have got a lot of risks to be involved. They have to get prepared, they have to convince the parents, they have to travel, they have to come in time. So always when it is direct and online sessions, my first priority will be for the direct attendees, barring the people who are attending from the other country. Except for Kiran, of course, Miruna, Ritvika, then Nitin, Murugan and Reshwar. For the other people, the option of advantage will be only secondary. First advantage will always be given to the direct attendees, because they are taking enough risk for that. So on that note, they did really well and they took as much advantage as possible, and they have done proper conclusion. Biggest point is that they merged two challenges and they gave a very good solution. And time management was a very big important factor for them. Yes, they were given 1 minute and 30 seconds extra. So they have secured well 93.5 for Team Krishnan.
Good job, Team Kiran.
the performance was given by Team Hariharan, and we finished with that. The biggest highlight is the way Hariharan started the skit and greeted the people. And that was so he was walking down from the west corner and he reached to the north corner, and then in the east corner he came and he loyally went to the south corner in order to pronounce good evening, and he had a wonderful French expression that has been coined yesterday. It is called as gentlemans and laddies. So gentlemans and laddies, Oxford Dictionary is trying to involve that in the Gazette. That's the BBC News today. Instead of calling ladies and gentlemen, from the time immemorial, for the past several thousands of years, we have been pronouncing as ladies and gentlemen, but it was Hariharan who has mentioned gentlemen and laddies. So it's a very big merit and historical event for India. And also, while explaining, Hariharan mentioned that it is my moms and dads, and that's even more historical. And then when Vedarshan asked a question, he mentioned that we all are, we are all souls to each other, and we refer our mothers and fathers together. So only then I got the breath back into my lungs. So he said moms and dads. That is brother from the other mother. That's what he tried to mean. And also the way that he was explaining and pronouncing the word bride has really motivated me to give a red carpet welcome for Hariharan tomorrow in the US batch. Tomorrow morning, 4:30 a.m. I'm going to conduct US batch, and Hariharan should be there because a person who has got such a dialect is very much capable to join. So Idya and Aditya, we should be welcoming Hariharan coming Wednesday in the class because he has got a brilliant pronunciation. You and me will pronounce bride, but he will pronounce as bride. So jokes apart, anyway, he made all of us laugh and we had a lot of fun. So, but at the same time, Hariharan did not take anything offensive, and he was on the spot. The point about Team Hariharan was Dakshin Siddharth, Mitra, Hariharan and Brinda, who is absent today, have been very prompt, and their script was so interesting. They involved Peter Robinson, they involved Manikandan Sundaresan, they involved a press reporter. All those were smart. And they were also explaining about the reasons for the bravery awards, 3 of them, the bravery awards that they involved. Yes, they did not use any objects, but nevertheless, they did a wonderful job of covering up all the aspects.
Thank you, sir.
And time management was very pioneering. They finished with 1 minute and 2 seconds to spare, and the subject was totally covered. So Mitra explained the things properly, Dakshin administered things properly, Brinda supported really well, Hariharan narrated things really well. It was a wonderful teamwork. They stand tall with 95 out of 100.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, Kiran. Thank you.
Good job, team.
Thank you, Prabhu.
So it was a very effective Sunday evening yesterday. They did really well. So now, without taking any further, let us go to the skit climax.
Sir, declaration of the recognized celebration.
Yeah, so I said right.
Oh, are you-
Team Hariharan is the winner.
Thank you, sir.
Good job, team.
Thank you.
Good job, Adira. Good job, Balaji. Good job,
Thank you,
Balaji.
Kiran.
Good job, team.
Team Hariharan plays 1 and Team Krishnan plays 2.
Congratulations.
Okay, so now, a couple of days back, we finished the skit where Sher and his brother Nawab had been planning. So here, Hariharan is going to play the role Nawab, and he's spinning off. Yes, of course, Nagaran is present in the online form, but that is not good enough and sufficient. So Hariharan will be spinning off the role. So Dakshin Siddharth will be arguing according to it. So as Dakshin mentioned, we have people in the online team. We have Idya and Aditya today. So Kiran Nandita is now going to take responsibility to explain what is a skit and to explain what skit is going on for the betterment of Idya and Aditya's understanding. So Kiran, you can take your time. We are not in any rush whatsoever. So Aditya and Idya should be understanding what you are trying to say. Start.
Okay, sir. So, Ivya and Aditya, we are, each of us are supposed to do a individual plot, and this time Dakshana has taken the, he has.
And in the press conference, it is going to be a reality check of how the security has been installed for protecting the Opal stone. So a person from the online team start as a press conference executive, and you can start asking questions. 3, 2, 1, go.
Hello, sir. Do you think the security will hold for as much officers as you put for security? Do you think the security will hold?
Yes, ma'am. Securities are really highly qualified officers were selected for this mission. So I think they will hold it until this exhibition ends. So I don't think so. The Opal will be robbed very easily by the robbers.
Yeah, it can't be wrong. We have the world's best security over here.
And we have the biggest team hired by the Indian Police Administration. Mr. Vihan is a very big proof, and Mr. Swaroop is another proof. And ironically speaking, I can be at the tail end, Peter Robinson, who is reporting here in front of you. So,
Peter,
yes.
why did you leave?
Front of police.
Subramani.
Subramanian.
And what about me?
bigger.
I'm also an Emirati officer.
Superintendent Subramanian and Emirati officer Sophia Sultana, of course. We have
Mansoor, the man himself.
We have the man himself, the owner of the Opal. So we have that emotional bonding that is attached, and we are not going to let the Opal stone taken out. Next question, please.
Sir, do you have any backup?
Sorry?
Continue, sir.
So he said you need a backup.
No problem, you have asked the question, repeat it, I was asked him.
No, Mirna, you asked.
Okay, thank you, sir. Okay, sir.
Mirna asks and Prabhuatya continues.
Okay, sir. So, how many levels of security are going to take place? Yes, even for press reporters, it was checked like 3 days before. From 3 days, it has been processed. And what about the visitors?
And the sister of Mr. Manzoor, Sophia, will answer this question. She is also an Emirati police officer.
So your name is Miss Mirna, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, ma'am. So actually, ma'am, at the entrance of the museum itself, we have a very big force, ma'am. So through that, Vihan sir and Swarup sir only arranged for that, and they will be actually safeguarding the Opal, and that is the first level, ma'am. And so on each time in every block, that is we have about 2 to 3 blocks, and in every block we will be having like 20 to 30 officers who will be safeguarding this Opal. And near the Opal itself we have some police officers. At the same time, as Vihan sir mentioned, we have some Emirati officers too to safeguard, and at the same time simultaneously they will be taking some steps to catch the criminal, that is Ashay Malik.
Please. Yeah, okay, fine. So, he frees Prabhuatya, you can go.
Yes, sir. So, sir, may I know what backup plans you have for if the Opal have been stolen?
Absolutely, we always go with plan B, and when we are making a task force meeting, exclusively when it is between the friends, you people have already been knowing, and you have read the newspaper, reading a very important news, that is myself, Swaroop, Vihan, and other police officers, the college friends, and yeah, college friends, focus. College friends, so we will be really able to have our own level of gelling. So I think that kind of emotional attachment that we all have within ourselves will be really helpful for us. And answering your question, the backup plan, plan B is Peter Robinson will be considered as the suicidal executive for taking care of the entire action that is happening. That is, if plan A does not work, I have already told to Mr. Vihan and Mr. Swaroop that I will be going on a sacrifice mode and I will take whatever steps and do whatever it takes for safeguarding. And if it is taking to relieve my soul away for the mission's accomplishment, I'll do that. So plan B is Peter Robinson's. So plan B is Mission Peter Robinson. Hope that answers the question, Mr. Prabhu Aditya.
Yes, sir. Thank you so much.
Who's next? Next.
So sir, is there any underground tunnel to get the Opal?
Why would we take the Opal and the underground tunnel when we are supposed to protect it? Do you think this is a press conference of the East members and criminals? We are the police officers here.
Only terrorists can do that.
Only terrorists can do that. Why are you thinking in that way? Shall I send the constables to your place to check who you really are? You might be a transforming member or a messenger to Sher Malik. Why are you speaking like this? Who are you? Which press are you reporting to?
I have special force, sir.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Superintendent Subramani has got special force. If there is any person whom you are supposed to be scared of on the earth, it's Superintendent Subramani.
I have special task force.
Hey, you know what?
Sorry sir.
Sorry, sir.
Indian version. Okay. Any other questions?
Yes, sir, to Ms. Sophia.
Yes, Ms. Purna ma'am.
What made you to specifically mention about Sher Malik?
Yes ma'am, they are taking many steps. We could recognize that because there is many things, it is becoming very tedious ma'am, and we could see it with our own eyes, and that's why we have some plan to be made, and those are confidential. Myself, Vihan sir, Swarup sir, and Superintendent I am the Superintendent of Police. Had some secretive meeting, and we have many plans ma'am. As Peter Robinson said about the plan B, we have other plans too. And those are confidential ma'am, and we assure that this Opal will not be stolen, and we as a family member of Sheikh Mansoor, we will protect it ourselves ma'am.
Yeah, who was the next questioner? So Ms. Myrna, hope your questions were answered.
Yes, sir. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you.
Yeah, Ritvika?
Sir, okay, sir. So, do you think the Opal will be safe here? Do you believe in your security?
Yes, ma'am. We do believe in our security. And the left wing of the museum, which is very important, will be headed by a heart patient sir. So he might be a heart patient, but still his heart is as strong as an iron. So, you know, we have all our trust on him, and we have Peter Robinson who will be directly before the Opal. So he'll be just 10 feet away from the Opal. So we have a very good team of police officers, and definitely the Opal will be safe.
And adding on, you know, you being a female performer in the press, the international press, you should be proud that we have got female officers as well. Officer Sultana, Officer Sophia herself over here, and we have our chief safeguarder of this entire museum. They're on, there's a female force that we have got. And one of the few stocks of people who are ready to prove to the world that ladies are definitely not inferior than men. So with all this battalion, we don't even see even a glimmer possibility of Opal being theft. Hope that answers your question, Ritvika ma'am.
Yes, sir. I got it.
Any other questions?
I have, sir.
Yeah.
So even after hearing the name Sher Malik, do you still believe that your Opal will be, Opal will be safe?
Ma'am, your grandfather Gopal is not in the skit.
No, Gopal is the son of Swarup.
Gopal is the son of Swarup. And Subramani also has a cousin. Super Subbu has a cousin. His name is also Gopal. We are speaking about Opal, ma'am. We are speaking about Opal. Okay, to answer your question, for making a feast.
Gopal sir, I spelled it as Gopal sir.
That was a joke. Okay, so in order to answer your question, the brothers who are trying to make the feast, they are ready to sacrifice their life. But a person who is protecting the opal stone, will he not sacrifice his life?
And kill them.
That's what I told. That's what I told. So this time, if Vihan is not really standing up to his mark, he will have to answer the questions of the raw agent and the IG of police who are really sitting on Vihan's brain because they have roasted him a couple of weeks back and he is avenging. So good that he has got his friends. Swarup is there, Nagulan is there, Peter Robinson is here. So we all will be able to do proper justice. And belief is the key word. We are a bunch of believers and that's what is really making us live.
So you missed out.
Super, super. Any other question?
Yes sir, I have a question sir.
Yeah.
So, judging by you haven't got Sher Malik and you've been searching for him for 6 years, if you were to come face to face with Sher Malik when you sorry, can I restart and restate the statement?
Yeah, control alt delete. Shut down yourself, reboot, restart, and then insert another boot disk like 1992 Windows system and then start. Come on.
Okay, sir. Judging by the way you haven't caught Sher Malik and you've been looking for him for 6 years, if you were to come face to face with Sher Malik, will you be able to catch him or
And kill him.
will
Put
you
a
make
bullet
him
into his
escape?
head. What are you asking now? Ask Peter Robinson himself.
Are you reporter or author? Because it looks like you are getting ideas for your book.
Yeah.
The first thing that we will do by looking at Sher Malik is we will send Nagulan in front of him. And we will check if his heart condition is properly working by having a glad look at his face. If Nagulan faints, then it means it's a disadvantage for us. If Nagulan is not fainting and he is surviving in front of Sher Malik and his brother Nawab, it means Nagulan himself is sufficient for taking care of them. So it might be sounding as if
What Nagulan himself?
if you are not fainting, and I am saying it in a big way, I am trying to raise your self-esteem. If you are not fainting away, it means you yourself are capable enough to capture the brothers. That's what it
Then
is.
he can't do that. Sorry.
Friends, with us, right from the college life, we have never trusted Naman. But myself and Sarup had always been trusting Naman.
Yeah,
Understand? Because the trust was so hard. Because in the first year I told you that this guy will become a heart patient, I told you. And my belief was right. And he became a heart patient, right?
Because of that better you gave him 2,000 rupees.
Yeah, correct, exactly. Right?
And he got 2,000 rupees.
Yeah, I
He
still
still
have
hasn't
it.
given me that 50% at least.
I still have it. You first, yeah, I think I'll have to give a lot of money for taking care of your medical expenses. So along with it, I'll give the 50%. That's it.
It's not for video, sir. Then she can explain.
Probably will take care of that thing with the Mariana. Protect it.
I have parts for Hari.
Yeah, so as of now, you get into this press report mode, and the next sequence I'll explain what you're supposed to do. Okay. I get that you are able to hear. Okay. So you have another question. The person is not able to put on the voice, but the person has sent an email, and I would like to read out the question. She's from America. Are you thinking that it might be Sher Malik, or any chances that it would be any other thief that could come and make this feast? Why are you stereotyped with Sher Malik and Nawab? If somebody else would come and pick this Opal, what will you do? That's what one of the press reporters from the United States of America is asking. Swarup will answer this. Yes, as she rightly asked, and that's a very smart question, by the way. As she rightly asked, that could be somebody else. We don't have plans for that.
Yeah, but that is evidential that he released a video on that for like the theft will become only on the Opal, so that's going to be his only aim. So we think other than him, no one can steal it very easily, because he has the experience of handling 299 cases very easily. So only he can come enter this hall very easily and without any sort of very easily.
Easily?
No, without us.
Are you joking?
You are so sensitive, man. I will calm down.
Calm down.
He's trying to give the answer. You know, that question might be a trap as well. Who knows? That person is also a member from Sher Malik's house. You are loosening the knots.
Someone else will take 1 minute. If Sher Malik, he will take 5 minutes.
Okay, Idya and Aditya, out of character, it's so good from your side to get into the process. Good job. Any other questions to my friends? Okay, the officers, Mr. Rian and Swarup. Right. So in that case, the press is confiding on us. So we will wait for the detail.
Thanks.
Yeah.
Thank you.
We are moving to the next sequence. Wait for us. Good. Center of the table should be visible for the online check.
Opal,
So, Darshan Siddharth, come here, stand here, explain to the online team what's the next sequence. Come on.
Yes, sir. So, friends, can you hear me first of all? Good morning.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, thank you. So now we have the Opal over here, and we have a tight security around it. So the police officers are waiting for Sher Malik to come, and they want to catch him, but he doesn't seem to come. So I don't want to reveal everything now itself. So let's see how this scene goes.
Who are all the
Police officers, sir, and Chief Mansur himself will be seated here, sir.
Take a chair for you.
Ma'am, the parents are.
No. It's very good. Right, ready, 3. So, are we having any unexpected twist over here? Anybody
Not
from,
here, sir.
Anybody from Sher and Nawab's hub trying to contact you or something?
Trying to contact me, sir.
Okay.
Sir, or else we can have it.
No. Do it as per your plan. Come.
Opal engagement. Huh? Opal engagement.
Say, go. Quick. Alright, so next sequence. We got any questions? Sorry. Nawab, I want to. Ready, 3,
Sir, you'll be near it. No, you'll be very much near the Opal.
me.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Opal levels.
Yes.
Sir, take a one, sir. Sir, now I put this for the next. Yes, sir. That is the test.
Give me my pistol. You know the thing. Ready? Come on.
Ready, sir. Now ready, sir.
Opal, baat hai.
Okay, ready? Come on, Darshan.
Hey, Shyam, get it up.
Hey, Bangada, time illada. Chill.
Yeah, lava bana. Say, அடுத்த scene வரும்.
Ready, 3. Don't hide. Do on 11. Darshan, you can do. Nidha, behind. Okay, start sequence. 3, 2, 1, go.
Namaste, sir. How are you feeling, sir?
Louder, louder, louder.
So we have this open project in security. So we strong this our systems our security is strong now.
Yes, sir. See, sir, we have the rest of
See, sir. Brother,
Sir,
I
advance
just
security,
going
sir.
and having a sharp one, see.
Sir, Dubai made sir advance security.
Go somewhere. Not go.
Yeah, the assistant director.
Madam, you both look very not even you look very
Did you have your table this morning?
no. She looks very suspicious.
Yes.
Ask her
That's-
if something's
Mr.
wrong.
Guns
Assistant
down.
director, museum.
Guns down.
Assistant director, what movie?
Okay.
What movie? Assistant director,
This-
what movie?
Hey,
Yeah,
Riya.
use him now.
Hey, Riya.
Do you know something we don't know?
Riya, this is why the raw agent and DAG are pissed off. You see, he's asking such a stupid question without knowing what is
Look
about.
at
Yeah,
that.
That's the museum director. Put it on your head.
It's
Sharp.
a hard question.
That's okay. It's okay.
Yes.
Okay, so to answer the question to Mr. Mansoor, yes, security has been tightened up. It's the Z level security, the Z level security, and we got all our prime officers with the heading of.
So
Yeah.
we hired that cyber security people, immunity people.
I'm also one of the MIT officers.
Your own sister is belonging to the NIT officers. So what are you going to do by having the cyber security people? You're calling them as if you're going to give them a feast.
I think they're out there.
Yeah, they're recording. So if you have any questions, ask them. They will answer.
And has my guns loaded.
So Emirati officers. If you can.
Look at the screen and speak like a vegan person. Come on.
So first, so we have this open here, and you are seeing from video conference. So and you sent us the officers a few days ago. So how it will be helpful to securing the Opal.
Gun loaded?
Yes.
Is it an Emirati gun?
Peter also, he's keeping his gun here. How can I use it next time?
Hey, it's an Emirati gun.
Be careful of the gun. Last time we used it, it did not fire.
It won't fire.
Please. Mansoor has asked a question to the online team, who are actually the cyber security people, and the question was, how are you going to take care of the Opal stone, being the cyber security people? So, somebody from the online team is supposed to open your heavenly mouth and answer.
Sorry, sir. Others were also looked at, so it's not clear, sir.
Yeah.
Sir.
தெரியுதா?
And sir, we can.
தேவையில்லாம ஆர்வ குரல்ல உடஞ்சிட்டு இருந்தீங்கன்னா அவங்களுக்கு கேட்கறது இல்லை. அதான் சொல்றேன். ஸோ கொஞ்சம் அமைதியா இருக்கு. Yes.
So, sir, we can add some. Actually, sir, we have some laser, sir, which it will automatically do some alarm, and we have camera in the every part of this museum, sir. So he can't even get in, sir.
Is that a
But
good
we
answer
have
for you?
some.
Yes.
So he has laser focus and he says he has installed camera.
The laser.
And also, sir, while entering So shall I speak?
Yeah. Yes, Myrna.
Okay, sir. So while entering itself, all the members, like photos and their thumbprints are taken, so that even their like it's a kind of forensics, and it's going to be like that. If anyone is touching the object, then the alarm starts, as we are also using the lasers. As soon as because as we have the sensors to identify the persons also, so it will be easy to identify the persons.
Yeah, yeah, the good points. So including the lasers to maximize the security of the Opal, and the and adding the camera to adding more security. So I like the point.
Sir, please go ahead. Yes, sir.
It is your turn.
No, this is 3 hours for the exhibition.
What's wrong with you people?
There are lasers around it.
That's
So
all.
that will go on.
His biometrics are being jammed, and for this biometric the laser will not work.
Okay.
Come on, have some sense.
Okay. Come on, we have. Yeah. How can I drop you guys?
Super.
Very good.
Alright, you sir. Come.
Next time you drop that plan.
Peter, is that gun functioning properly?
It is something.
Yes.
Any other point of focus you would like to give for Mr. Mansur so that we can have the conversation?
Sir, we have more additions, sir. Like we have some 50 jammers, sir. So no one can call from here and outside, sir. Because if someone can track the timings when the letter will be off for maintenance, sir. So we have done that, sir. And jammer will be always on for 24 hours, sir.
Yeah, the good point that including the jammer server, no one will contact any other person. So this will help to improve the security. Next point, please.
Okay, Greece. Now that Mansur has got enough confidence from the live security and the cyber security, he has given the sanction for the people to stay inside the museum. Now, we are moving on to the next sequence where the most important event of this entire skit is going to happen. It is the climax. Dakshin Siddharth is now going to explain.
Sir, so in this scene, the police officers are waiting for something to happen, but nothing seems to happen. So initially, they get some suspicion whether Opal is really here or not. So they go and they disable the laser and they take this out and see that there's no Opal inside, sir. So then they get alarmed and then they start thinking about something, sir. And what Opal said turns out to be true, sir. She shows some suspicious movements, sir. So then we corner her and ask some questions, sir. And then she reveals the plan of Sher Malik. And then we come to know that, as written asked, there's a tunnel inside the museum. And in the secret chamber, actually they placed the Opal, sir. So after getting bribed, they placed the Opal yes, sir. After getting bribed, as per Sher Malik's instructions, they kept the Opal inside the chamber, sir. And they gave a false view that there's the Opal here. So the police team figures it all out and then they go to the secret chamber for find the police.
Okay, so it's better to have only those necessitated people to be in the sequence.
Sir, everyone is safe.
So actually Opal is being stolen already.
Yeah, it's not here actually. It's in another room.
It was never here.
Yeah, it was never here. So then you saw some suspicious movements and
We will handle you. We will take you out and we will handle you.
So, Balaji should be sitting like this?
yes, sir. He will supervise everyone, sir.
நீங்க விரும்புகிற பேசிட்டு ஒரு எக்ஸ்பிரஷன்
Right, so we are coming to the last sequence of the skit and we will do as much as we could. So the online team, what will be the role of the online team?
Sir, again, sir, they are the cyber security people, sir. Then we can have some ideas from them.
So cyber security people, you can alert Peter Robinson. Peter Robinson will have the walkie-talkie and you can alert Peter Robinson. And I need a walkie-talkie to listen.
Sir, here the scientific calculator, sir.
Scientific. Yes.
Sorry, there the cat.
Huh?
Yeah.
Good evening. So this will be the walkie-talkie device, and you can communicate. Silence, please. Silence. Okay, and Aditya, we'll meet on Wednesday in the US batch. Bye. Bye. Right, so we are now pending. 3, 2, 1, go.
Where's Skit? Peter, I want to kill him.
Calm down.
Ask him to come here.
Calm down.
Calm down.
Super. Calm down.
Why are you pointing the gun towards me? Idiot. I recruited you and you are pointing the gun towards me.
He's a kid.
Cybersecurity is everything alright? Do you have any suspicious actions or something? If you have so, please report through walkie-talkie. We have got the museum director, we have got Officer Sultana, we have got Officer Sophia here, Subramaniam is here, Karim is here, everybody. So you have got any suspicious ailments?
Sir, in 2 minutes, for 2 minutes, the jammers will be turned off for maintenance, sir.
Are we really having a problem of turning it off because we are in a very serious condition? Can we not postpone the maintenance task for about 30 minutes or so, because this is the time these guys are going to turn up?
Sir, but if we don't do that, the jammers will be not working, sir, for permanent. We do that because we have 50 jammers and it's have most, will have more sensor. Or we can do it like half of certain papers, 2 minutes and another paper for 2 minutes. Sir.
They want to go on a freeze and they want to do maintenance work.
But is it very much necessary? Because this time is going to be the one.
Yeah, they should witness me killing Chairman.
We should have some
They should have come to
That's what I'm thinking as well.
the window is over. See? They said they will finish the window.
Yeah, he's right. Peter, why don't you do this? However, they're going to switch off the jammer for some time. Ask him to switch off the laser light also for some time. Just check whether the Opal is there.
Yeah, I can
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
No. I mean, although it is deactivated for your biometrics, for the law enforcement purpose, we officers will do
No,
it.
Opal is here. We don't know.
No, I think Miss Sophia is right.
No, we don't need to. We don't have to check it.
We
Why?
should
Please.
have.
I understand that you are a very righteous officer, man. But at the same time, it is a law enforcement. Our
Then you open like this.
After you are museum director, you are telling me.
Yes, then you are not trusting us.
Yeah, we are trusting you.
Stop speaking after all. Why we are museum?
See.
Why do you irritate? I mean, why do you irritate a profession? What do you mean after all museum officer?
Because he is trying to
Who are you? He might be asking you after all you are a heart patient, very fine.
Yeah, please switch it off. We want to check.
Officer.
You don't have to.
Then Robert Lieutenant James.
Yes.
Officer James, come in. Officer James, come in.
Sir, you don't have to.
Yes, sir.
Excuse me, ma'am. Please excuse me. Calm down.
Calm down.
Officer James,
Yes, sir.
as Mansoor's sister officer Sophia mentioned, deactivate the laser because we need to check the status of the Opal stone for the next 3 minutes. Can you do
Yes,
that?
Mr. James, do it fast if you don't mind.
Please don't do it, James.
Three, two, one. Stand up, sir.
Thank you, James. Okay, wait.
I will take it.
Wait. You are the head of this operation. You do it.
It's going to be here.
Hey, it's very small, yeah. I thought it would be.
Oh, Opal is gone.
What is this?
Ma'am, what happened, ma'am? You said that the Opal was right here. Where is it?
I knew it. I knew it.
Everybody.
I told you.
Everybody, the museum in charge of the gunpoint.
I told you.
Everybody's gunpoint was the museum.
I told you.
What happened, bro? Come here, bro.
Bring that.
Bring it.
Arrested.
Bring it. Under the investigation bulb.
Wait.
Madam,
Come here.
Under the investigation.
Come on, drag her. Give her one punch, ma'am, please.
Hey,
She is the Indian police.
Officer Naval
6
was
feet
right.
away. 6 feet away.
Sir,
Social
take care, sir.
distancing.
Who will take care of
Bullet
this
will travel,
protection?
okay.
Officer Naval was
Some
right.
protection.
He was always suspecting you, and I was backing you up, and I was defending you. So what has been the plan? Tell us.
See,
How much did they pay? How much? How much?
They actually did not pay anything.
How much they pay?
They did not.
Where is the first from? Okay, relax, guns down.
We won't believe you, ma'am. Say the truth out.
Vihan, for one moment, can you take the judge?
Yeah, sure.
Guns down. He asked you how much did they pay.
Tell me how much?
Yeah.
You said that he did not.
We'll give you a better offer.
Where is Opal? Look at.
Bro, it's all about business.
Look at Mansoor. He's frozen. He's devastated. He's down. His spine is broken because of this emergency. Everything happened.
I think he's going to die. Give him some.
Call the ambulance, please.
You are the expert for it.
Call the ambulance.
Hey, no, we don't need ambulance. We have senior heart
We did no signal. Call is not going.
Okay.
James, come in.
James, come and go, please.
James, come in.
James, come in.
Yes, sir.
Hey, Joker James, you deactivated the laser and the Opal is not here, man. It looks like the Opal was never here.
Yo, he have 50 jammers and high level protection over here. How will he know?
But Kid is not here, right? So, that's not my point.
Then what is the point
Sir,
of...
can you give me some 5 minutes, sir, so I can check it?
You gave me 17 hours now.
What are you doing now?
What protection you do? What protection did you do?
We don't believe you, James. Come on.
See, now the Opal stone is not here. It's stolen.
More than Opal, he is expensive. Our business.
This is a way
I
of protecting.
think we have to speak business right here.
What business? Who will
Wait,
give you a
Please.
Where will you get the money? Which government will give him the money?
They will give you more money than they offer.
Ma'am,
They will
tell
take
us
more
or
money.
I will kill you.
If you people are going to scream around her, how she will act?
6 students.
Nobody speaks except the officer. Come on, speak.
We did not pay them anything. Okay, I will say anything.
Yeah. Looking forward for that.
So actually 2 days before, Shay Malik and his team came here.
Shirmani came here.
Yeah. Shay Malik
Oh,
Nawab
God, you
and
have
his
called
team.
me.
Yeah. Come on.
Oh, you already got a number now.
He pays him up.
Peter, nothing is missing.
Hey. Phone my open.
He said, "Who is that Opal?"
Freeze. We should be around and speak focus. I don't want anybody to speak in this.
So 2 days back they came here and they just said that they blackmailed us with our director's brother. They pointed the gun on him and Nawab tried to cut his finger and he cut his finger. So that's where we went and we took the Opal and we gave him.
How old is that boy? What did he do?
He's I guess 11 years old.
I think he will be looking like Subu.
The psycho got his fingers.
Where's the Opal right now?
No.
Where's the Opal?
That we know. That's in their control.
Where?
I know that's a darling. Made from Emirati. Go.
Okay, so
Is this so important that you want to blame the Emirati
So
Opal?
freeze. Now that it is a very big, important, shocking news for all the officers that the Opal was not even here. So now, in the next sequence, we are straight away going to get the revelation of what has been happening and how all this has been possible. So, which obviously means we are going to Sher Malik and Nawab's hub, where the discussion is going on. So here, the question, what is the discussion?
sir, you want the discussion or will you take away get from the class?
Straight away get it.
Yes, sir. So this is a secret chamber, sir. Sir, this is a secret chamber, sir. So here, the Opal is right in front of him, sir. So, as per their instructions, as per Sher Malik's instructions, Kalpita placed it here, sir, in the secret chamber, and he's here along with Nawab and Mujib. He can play Mujib, sir. So they are about to take the Opal, sir. Then all the officers, 3 officers come in, sir. Sophia, Swaroop and Viman sir. Sir?
Sumani
Ah, yes, sir.
Sumani Sultana.
Sultan go to Suleiman, sir. In the end.
Yes, sir.
Sir, so Nawab will have the gunpoint at these 4 people, sir. And
Knife point.
Yes.
lower point. Then I will come to you, sir, and Mujib and yourself will be at the center, sir. And I will be pointing the gun at you, both as I said earlier, sir. We will do all this.
I will.
Now for a secretary also.
That's me.
Hey, you are Mujib here, no? Nephew. Sir, at this point of time, we will be appreciated. Because he was the one who made all the breakthrough for you, sir. He made it very easy for you to come here. So you will say that you are my successor.
Thank
You don't trust Nawab anymore. You will carry my legacy forward.
Okay, very good.
Why?
Yeah. Okay, so online team, this is the climax where Manikandan Sundaresan is share Malik. Wait பண்ணுடா சொல்லிட்டு இருக்கடா கேட்கறடா அவங்களுக்கு. I don't want anybody to speak. Manikandan Sundaresan is share Malik, Nagaland Nawab, Hariharan, Mujib. Because Mujib was earlier played by Dakshin Siddharth, you might have watched that a couple of days back. But now Dakshin Siddharth has to play the main role of Vihan, and Vedavashan will play the main role of Swaroop. Kirtana will play the main role of Lady Officer Sultana, and Mitra will be playing the role of Lady Officer Sophia. And Vishnupriya in this sequence is also one among the Lady Officers. So they are all going to come, but here the Opal is very much in front of Sher Malik, and he is appreciating Mujib, and Nawab observes, and there is a little bit of a kind of a frenzied discussion that is going on between the three. And when that happens, the officers barge in. What after the officers barge in, what is Mitra the first situation?
Yes, sir. After the officers
இங்கிருந்து வாங்க ஏன்னா இதுதான் கரெக்ட்.
Engage, sir.
அங்கிருந்து வாங்க.
Yes, sir. After the officers barge in, sir, so each and everyone has their guns ready, sir, ready to be triggered. So as I said, he will keep the other officers engaged, sir. I will make my way into the center, and I will point the gun at you, sir. You will have Mujib to support, but drastically he turns and points the gun at you, sir. So he reveals that my name is Ramesh Durai, and I am an undercover officer. I killed Mujib, and I have come in disguise to kill you. And then when it appears that you are about to lose, sir, we are about to catch you, what happens is that I turn and I shoot at his head, sir. In the end, it turns out that I have betrayed the Indian SDF, and why did I do so? That is the reason part.
So down the scene, that's very good. In the scene, you have the villain or the Peter.
Peter I will சொன்ன முடியாது. Peter share Malik. Share Malik Nawab.
Won't the Indian STF recognize Ramesh Durai? Because Ramesh Durai used to work with them.
Yeah.
With them. So
Plastic surgery.
No, this is a joint operation. They know that he is Ramesh Durai.
oh, they knew.
They have planned even 2 months before he came to India, actually. So everything they had, it was like he was entering a rat trap. But then in the end, all that will be revealed in part.
Waiting for God.
Ready? 3, 2, 1. Another job here. 3, 2, 1, go. Okay, looks like the entire world is in our palms.
Yeah.
You know what, Mujib, I really appreciate you. You have always been a trustworthy person. And looking straight into your eye, I would like to say, I have made all the decisions and I have made all the kinds of, all my mental faculties ready towards handing over the mantle of my successor to Mujib. So I'm really appreciating you for getting this open. And
Thank you.
you have been really a pioneer in.
No, stop. Are you serious or what?
Yeah, he's been a pioneer in
No,
shooting this.
this is stupid.
language.
Arish, what do you say about me? I told you are stupid. What are you going to do?
You made a
What
not time. We are not even out of the.
Come on.
We are not even out of the museum yet.
Come out here. Come out here. Listen to me. What I said. I am rewarding Mujib for the simple reason that he has been deceiving these two lethal officers, Vihan and Swaroop, so easily, which you have never managed to do in the past decade. Vihan has always been a Tom towards you, Jerry, and you have never taken care of him. And Swaroop has been really clear enough. And you know what? Me and you made a mistake of hitting them on the wrong side. A couple of days back when they came here for an assassination, we have really killed them on the wrong side. And they became wounded tigers. Wounded tigers, very sharp and fast. And now they were really able to, the international press conference was able to believe them, man. Whatever the security that was given, the Mansoor, that guy, the MNC owner himself and the sister Sophia, language, I told you language. Carefully language back in character. So, yeah, even that press conference, they made it so heavy that the foreign press conference reporters have started believing in them. And this guy...
Believing in him. What are you talking about? Something's wrong with you. What did he mind control you with some technology or something?
No. He did only one thing, which you did not manage to do. He got this to me. He got this Opal from Sheikh Mansoor to me. You are not supposed to touch it. And he has lost the liberty of it. The only liberty that you have is your blood belonging. And I don't know what, I'm really having a bit of a problem in making myself convinced that you are still remaining as my brother. And
You're going to disown me because of this some little guy we've known for 10 days now?
He's not some little guy. He has got something so much big. He says being a little guy. It is
That's
not
one
the size.
place we
It
did
is not.
274 together.
It is not the size of the dog. It is the size of the fight into the dog. It's a small dog with a big fight. You are a big dog with a very small fight inside. You understand that? You are going to be my successor. You understand?
Thank you.
Okay, now I am going to book the flight tickets because anyhow the officers are going to fast approach. So they will think that they are
Hands up!
If you want to go off the
Come on, come on.
don't call my brother anymore.
Yeah, what are you doing?
Okay, I will call him.
What are you doing? What are you doing? Missed it. You missed it. Shame on it. What are you doing? What are you doing?
Shut up.
Yeah. Wait a second. Do you want to know how we got here?
Officer, if you shut your mouth, you'll be able to answer. It's because of your foolishness these people have come.
My foolishness, what my foolishness? He was the one who gave
You
this
are
back.
two of It's between brothers. You are
What between brothers, sir? Shame. I'll put it right. Come here. Okay. So do you want to know how we got to you? It was again the mistake of your brother.
Look what is going on. Look what is going on. Look where his gun is pointing.
You are the fool. I told you that game is good for nothing. I will reveal everything. I am a Ramesh Purohit. You are Ramesh who?
Ayyo Rama! எவ்வளோ மாசான சீன் போட்டுட்டு ரமேஷ் துரைங்கிற பேரை எவ்வளோ மாசம் சொல்லணும் ஐஎம் ஏ ரமேஷ் துரை அப்படின்னா நேத்தனா ஜென்டில் மேன்ஸுங்கிறான் எவ்வளோ மாசம் போயிட்டு திரும்ப ஐஎம் ஏ ரமேஷ் துரை காரிக்கிட்ட வந்து கத்தாது.
இப்போ கேளுங்க நான்
அவன் சொல்ல விடல, அவன் எப்படி வந்தாங்க சொல்ல விட்டு அவன் வந்து I am a ரமேஷ்.
அதிலே நம்ம தெரியும்.
ஏன்னா 10th ஸ்டாண்டர்ட் படிக்கிற இன்னும் நேமுக்கு முன்னாடி வந்துட்டு ஏ வராதுன்றது உனக்கு தெரியாது.
எல்லாரும்
I am a ரமேஷ் துரை. ஏன் என் கண்ணு இல்லை? அது அவனுக்கு இந்த இல்ல இது என்னோட கண்ணு அவ்வளவுதான். Look where he's pointing. Who are you?
Yeah, wait, I reveal everything.
Who are you? What's your
I am
name?
Ramesh Pillai. He is an undercover cop. And do you want to know how we got here? Do you remember the day when we got into your godown?
Yeah.
So when he snatched the gun from us,
அவனுக்கு மேல இருக்கு. அவன் சொல்லிட்டு இருக்க போர் அடிக்குது.
when you guys snatched the gun from us, we inserted a GPS device into your brother and we tracked him down all the way up to here. So if you are smart enough to do that, if you are smart enough to snatch a gun, so very very smart.
Hold. No matter what happens, hold your phone.
Sir, what?
We will array.
That's fine.
Okay.
You're showing your attitude.
I am not ready to hear. Release your hand. The Opal is here. Here. Give my brother. If you are able to shoot both of us, and the Opal goes with us. You understand? Okay, Mr. Ramesh today. I will deal with you. One flight and coming back in another flight, myself and brother will be really enjoying tasting
Sir.
drop by drop blood of yours.
Sir, you will shoot, sir.
If
Sir.
you not,
Come on,
Sir,
shoot
wait,
us.
sir, order,
Come on,
sir.
shoot us. Shoot us.
Sir,
And
wait.
I'm not an officer. Wait,
Shut it up.
wait. I'm sorry. I've got to do one thing right now.
Sir, okay, sir. Sir!
Wait, what are you doing?
Sir!
Get back, get back, get back, get back. Get back down. Get down. Come on, drop your weapons.
Oh my God! Boy!
Drop the gun and stop pointing at me.
Mr.
Stay.
Mr. Saru.
You
Hey,
belong.
Saru. Okay, get back. Get back and check whether the gun is loaded or not.
It has always been a recurring dream that I will be presenting the Opal to my younger little brother. And I have done that. And Vihan,
Ramesh, sir!
I have a smoke bomb right here. So I think we've got to leave right now.
Catch me! Catch them! Catch them!
Yeah, let's just meet us and let's go away. Come on.
let's go.
You have the Opal, right? Where's the Opal? Bro, where's the Opal?
Subramani!
Hey, contra that guy. I'm not going to kill you, bro. You're my friend. Bro, don't kill me.
Saru and all the media people are watching. Vihan, the finest crop of India. Nawab, the most lethal criminal and peace master. And Sher Malik. Sher Malik, the biggest peace master that the world has ever seen. And Mrs. Saru, the darling police officer of all the division police head. And Vihan, the best friend. Mrs. Saru, would you like to ask any question first?
He's going definitely.
Definitely.
What are you going to do?
Sir, I didn't hear you.
Definitely.
Definitely.
Okay. I'm not your friend right now. So, I don't
Let
care.
it cheat.
Thank you. Thank
No,
you.
he speaks too much. What? Come on. I mean, see, you know, don't you ever get the rebirth of my elder brother because you keep on. Hello?
Yes, right. Whatever you want. I kill you. What can I do?
Okay,
Okay, we die out of faith. Come on.
you do it. Yeah. Do your honors. No.
Guys, come on, let's not kill him. Let him suffer with the pain. Come on.
No. My brother has asked and I would like to explain this wish.
Hello. Okay. You know what? I'm not even going to kill him. I am going to, however. Yeah, carve out his face like the goddamn child. Yeah, come on. Do that, bro. Come on. Yeah. Is that enough? Really? Hello for your hand. Yeah. Yeah, just shoot them. Shoot them.
It's okay. It's okay. It's okay.
It's okay.
Let me do the finishing honors.
No, don't kill him, please. No, don't kill him. He's just unconscious, right? Go and tell to the Indian police that I have betrayed them. Come on.
Collect all the cards. Officer Karim, Officer Sultana, Museum Head, Sophia, the sister of Mansoor, and Officer Subramani, and we have Mansoor bashing.
Shake.
Shake!
Get up.
Come on!
Come on.
Come here!
What is it, shake?
Hey, let's take care of the shake. Come here.
Come here. Come here. Shall we kill her?
I'll leave it to you.
Just listen to me, sir.
I will leave it to you.
Kill me. Don't kill my brother.
Yeah, you're already doing that.
இதெல்லாம் gunshot எடிட்ல போறதுக்குள்ள எனக்கு தலைவலியே வந்து. Are we killing him now?
What shall we do?
What shall we do, Mr. Sir?
Shall we kill him? Bro, how are you, bro? What happened? Are you going to die?
Okay. Our next flight. Let's go.
Yeah.
Let's
Let's go.
go. Hey, put a couple of bullets on his legs.
I'll do one better.
Let's go, guys. We are.
Okay, come on.
Now, let's
The
go.
officers might be closing in. Come on.
Wow, wow, wow. What a sacrificing government service. Good job, everybody. Good job. Thank you for the girls who have been really helping us. Kirtana, Vishnupriya and Kirtana, thank you so much for helping us. Good job. Very good job.
The chapter 2 model, sir. I am.
So, the skit called as Green Opal is officially complete and thank you so much. And the chapter 2 of this Opal, Green Opal, that is left to Dakshin whenever the plot is ready, we'll go for it.
Sir, last year the same September we did that police picture again. We fell down like this.
That's correct.
And nothing was available for that.
Side will not even the main will.
Okay, ready? Now, let us take all the chairs and put it up in horseshoe shape, semicircle shape. There we go. Semicircle shape and go close to the online team. We are going to have a small discussion.
Mama, we. Sir, it's like Undertaker, sir. What's up? Nadiga's coming out. Sir, which kid, sir?
Okay, wait. Nitin Murugan is going to leave and he has got only 2 minutes. So Nitin, you have been part of this skit right from the very beginning. So tell us what has been the learning out of the skit now that you have seen the completion of the skit, chapter 1.
Sir, I learned that there's certain ways to cooperate with different things, and anger is not always the solution to a problem.
That's very good. Nitin, my question is, police officers turning tables and joining the criminals hub, criminals getting into the undercover operation and trying to be co-criminals and getting shot and getting killed miserably. It happens in Afghanistan, Pakistan, in Indian police force, just like all the cinema portrays. It happens everywhere. And one of the ex-commissioner of police, Karthikeyan, he mentioned in his autobiography that the undercover police officers who had been into the terrorist agencies, they never come back. They always get killed. Now, as a preteen youngster, young lad, is it the only way that we can control the bad things in a nation by putting the undercover operation? Or as a growing mind, what does your mind think as a different alternate solution for taking care of the criminals?
Sir, my first idea is that you have to, like, once they're attacking, you have to find a way to make sure that your cop can be undercover. That, like, not exactly like going to the base type of undercover, but like, just as a friend maybe trying to help them out. But then, like, it's not undercover, it's more like just, someone common, like a commoner out there.
That's good, that's nice and comforting to hear. One last question before you leave. If I ask you to prepare a plot of yours, so Nagaland came with a drama genre and Kiran came with a thriller and a crime genre, and the third skit, Dakshin Siddharth, came up with a heist and crime genre. If I ask you to come up with a plot, which genre you would be choosing? Just curious.
Sir, I would include like maybe a thriller and kind of crime one, where it would be, because it's more interesting when you do it as like when the in-person people are able to play a role, and the like people in the online batch get to play the role of maybe like someone in quarantine. So it's better when we do it like that kind of. So like a police officer, they're trying to do something like that.
That's wonderful. I always admire the way that you speak in these kinds of situations. And can you prepare a plot, and which is online and direct class compatible plot? And if you are preparing,
I've already done one, sir. I already have one ready, sir.
right? So can we explain? Can we expect you to explain about that tomorrow once you join?
Yes, sir. Of course.
All right, Nitin. So we'll do that tomorrow. Thank you so much. See you tomorrow. In that case.
Okay, bye everyone.
Ritvika is next. Ritvika, a common open forum question. You're learning out of the Green Opal skit and your favorite spot in Green Opal skit.
Sir, my favorite spot is the climax. Then what is my learning is the address can you say, sir?
Mute your mic for God's sake. Mute, Ritvika. It's a goddamn television which I don't want to hear. Mirna.
Sir,
So Mirna, tell us your learning. The same question that I asked you Ritvika.
yes, sir. So the learning is like coordination, sir. Like when the different cops were placed in, kept in the same place, there was some disturbance between making friends easily like that thing, sir.
Okay.
And another thing, like you were asking about, asking to nothing, is like undercover is correct like that, sir. So I think maybe the long-term thing that should be taken is reducing the poverty, sir. So when we reduce it, maybe the chance the person is stealing Opal for money purpose. When somebody learns that money is not about humans and when the poverty is less, like it is a long-term process. But for that, maybe simultaneously that can be done, and at the same time, in a short-term process, some things like this has to be done so to prevent it. And sometimes, as a technology student too, I see that technology fails sometimes. So every time, like 100% believing in technology is like a blindfolded person, like walking in the road like that. So sometimes, like at least we should have, or we should have a manual work too.
Right, right. Right. The value system you mentioned, the value system you mentioned that if poverty is taken care of, then these kinds of shortcut criminal events will not take place in the society. That idea is very deep. I really appreciate that. Good job.
Thank you. Thank you.
Okay. Kiran.
Sir,
The obedient police, the obedient police officer. Mute your mic, listen to the question, and then answer. I am saying this 1855th time to you because you are using a speaker. We are getting the feedback. My question was, an obedient police officer who has been craving and who has been dying, who has been longing to kill and put a bullet on Sher Malik's head, all of a sudden turns the table and Swaroop is devastated. And when Swaroop is sitting in the middle, Nawab torturing him with a knife, and Sher Malik putting bullet on his shoulder, and his own best friend Bihan putting a bullet on his legs, and they are almost leaving him on the trays of getting to his last bed. And Swaroop is emotionally and mentally dead. Physically he is alive. So when you have a kind of a situation in Swaroop, put yourself in Swaroop's shoes. How would you deal with this situation?
So, sir, first of all, like you said, sir, I would actually give up all my hopes, sir. But then, if I were to deal with this situation, sir, I would keep saying in myself that I should keep living. Like, you have to give yourself the motivation, and you shouldn't lose hope. If you yourself lose hope, then you can't survive for sure, sir. So that's what I would do, sir.
Alright, so that's a good answer. Thank you.
Sir, also may I say what I learned from the skit, sir?
Sure, go for it.
Sir, I learned to be, what I learned from the skit is to be committed and don't give up, sir, because Bihan was searching for Sher Malik for 6 years, sir, but he didn't give up and he stayed committed to this specific case, and so I learned to stay committed and don't give up, sir.
Great. So on in the chapter 2 we will know why Bihan has done this. Maybe it was a whole kind of a pretension that Bihan might have been doing, like catching Sher Malik of course and just losing the grip, and letting both Nawab and Sher Malik intentionally and deliberately, so that to prove the point that he gets and wins a lot of money from them. Bihan is a character that should not be taken into example, as an example, but I really appreciate the way that you mentioned. You will not be giving up. In your note, only Swaroop is remaining in that character. Who knows, in chapter 2, Swaroop will also be a heel face that Pony Darshan will say. Right, good job, thank you. That was a handsome answer.
Thank you, sir. And if you don't mind, sir, you asked another question to Ritvika, sir. You said, what's your favorite part, sir? If you don't mind, can I answer that one too, sir?
Okay.
So, sir, my favorite part of this skit, sir, was when Dakshinana as Bihan, he started shooting Veeravarshanana and Nagalanana, like when they were doing the police officer scene. And I was falling out of my chair laughing. I really liked that part.
that was the most serious moment of his game. And you mentioned that you were laughing out louder and that too your chair was falling apart. That clearly mentions what kind of a personality you really are.
Sir, and during one of the skits, sir, the murder scene, sir, she was putting the laughing emoticon and she was sending it in space, sir. Yes, rain, murders are raining. Like it she was singing.
With the island number.
Yes, sir.
Sir, just think of her. She's sitting and she's.
And one day she told that I really like murder scenes. I like the feel when they like.
Right.
No, sir, the way the people react after the murder, sir, it's just very funny, sir.
Okay, thank you, Kiran. That was nice. Who's next? Prabhu Aditya.
Yes, sir.
What's your favorite learning? I mean, what's your learning and what's your favorite part?
Sir, my learning was, sir, we need to do opposite because when the officer, that is Lakshmana, was before sir, Sherman was escaping from him, sir, but due to his hard work, sir.
Prabhu, 1 second. Prabhu, 1 second. Vishnu Priya. Okay. Sir, நீங்க அமைதியா இருக்கணும். நீ கிளாஸ் போயிட்டு இருக்கு. நீ வீட்ல விஷ்ணு பிரியாட்ட கத்துற மாதிரி கத்துக்கூடாது. இங்க கவனிச்சிட்டு இருக்காங்க எல்லாரும், ஓகே? நீ ஏதாவது கீழே கூட்டிட்டு போய் பேசு. இல்ல அமைதியா பேசு. Prabhu, sorry, continue.
Sir, from the first, sir, I continue, sir.
Okay.
Sir, we need to do hard work, sir, because when the officer, the external sir, for the before times, he didn't get the ceremony, sir. He didn't get caught ceremony, sir, but keep on trying, sir. He caught ceremony now, sir. And the favorite part was, sir, the joke of Hariharan today, sir. No, I'm not offending, no, just saying, no.
நீ அஃபெண்ட் பண்ணினாலும் அவனுக்கு அது தெரியாது. நீ அஃபென்ஸ் பண்ணினாலும் அவனுக்கு அது அஃபென்ஸ்க்கு தெரியாது. அந்த அளவுக்கு வந்துக்கிட்டு மறந்து போன ஒரு இதே அவனுக்கு. நீ போறதுக்குள்ள ஓபால் எடுத்து எங்கிட்டு கொடுக்கு. போய் எடுத்து கொடுக்கும். போ இல்ல எடு போ அந்த வேலை செய்ய போடா. விஷ்ணு பிரியா வாட்ஸ்
Akka, that horn is from that house.
Okay. Kirtana. Now Kirtana will explain her learning and her favorite part of the skit.
So first I'll explain the learning about it, sir. So as Dakshin mentioned in the plot that we can able to exchange the characters, sir. So that's the learning over here, sir. Wait. No problem, sir.
Okay.
So over here, Dakshina played a Mujib role as well as Vigan role, sir. Even that he can able to change his characters, sir. Meanwhile, as you also did the Peter Robinson as well as the criminal, sir. So over there, I just learned that a person can do whatever the roles we can do it, sir. That's all learned.
That's all you learned. And what's your favorite part of the skit?
So favorite part over here is the last climax scene, sir. So
Balaji, come on.
Sir, I learned that friends can same was that the friend can be enemy sometimes. So we should have a detail of every person so that he will be friend or enemy. So without knowing the character's knowledge, we should not intrude into personal, otherwise it will be turned out as enemy.
Wow, that's it. So Krishnan was not part of the whole skit, but he was part of the last 2 days or so. So he is going to say his learning and which is his favorite part.
Sir, my favorite part this was the climax, sir. I'm already dead, sir, but I'll come back.
I was dead uncle, but I was not dead uncle.
Yeah, my character was dead. My character was dead.
My learning was the
Ultra, my character was dead. அது இன்னும் சொல்ல முடியாது, அதை கம்ப்ளீட் பண்றா.
அதான்டா நீ
உன் character இறந்துருச்சா? ஆனால் சொல்ல வந்தேன்.
சொல்றா, இருக்கிறத சொல்றா, மண்டல அனுபவத்தை சொல்றா. சொல்றா, அதையா சொல்றா.
my learning is the police are sacrificing their life to kill the gangsters.
ஆமா. Yeah, but of course, Swaroop, Subramani, இவங்க எல்லாம் சாக்ரிஃபைஸ் பண்ணாங்க.
கடைசி சீக்கிரம் தான்
Hot place in Awesome place.
கடைசி நீ நான்
இல்ல சார் நம்ம
Police.
ஹார்ட் பேஷன் சார் நான் வந்த மாதிரி இருக்கு சார் நம்மளோட அடே எல்லாரும்
இல்ல அவன் நிகழ்வை பார்த்தோனே நெஞ்சு பிடிச்சிருக்கு. Okay, news is that the heart patient police officer Nabilan, by the sight of Vihan turning the face and becoming a heel, that itself has killed Nabilan. So, yeah, very last but not the least, we are going to ask Ritan Nitish. Okay, Ritvika, you hear me? Without the television sound. I don't know how gullible how can be that is the class is going on and they are having a television with loud sound. Ritvika, you hear? Say, Rama Sandosham. Say, Harira, say the learning. How is this?
The learning is in the part, the second part. Start the come on, second part.
Ramesh Durai is speaking now. I am a Ramesh Durai speaking. Wait, look at Vada, Barbara. Online
உங்களோட
speaking.
லுக் காமிச்சிட்டு போடா.
In the as the working as spy or undercover agents, they are not telling their occupation as the outside of the society, and they are not appreciated properly to the by people or the government or nation. So the job is the toughest job is the undercover agents that they are more and more they are torturing from the enemies and this so we want to respect the like that agents that they are sacrificing their life for nation and the people's
Bravo. That's a nice point. Very nice point. Krishnan and Hariran both mentioned pretty much the same point I read. Good job. Mitra, it's the last question and then we are moving on to the next one. As a person, as a MS evening session's nature and MS evening session always tries to indulge into character learning system, skills learning system and value system, psychological strength and all that. On that standpoint, what are all the learning that you have from this?
Sir, from each sequence we can learn one thing, sir. Like in the, I think it was the first day, third sequence, sir. That is Bihan, Dakshinana came and we were all like we had a discussion, sir, and we treated him as a person who wasn't given that much importance and he was about to be suspended, sir. And at that time he came in and he